With recent events going what they are and the trends that I've been seeing in the last decade minimum, I'm seeing something kind of alarming. Now, I don't mean to be all doom and gloom about it, but all the different AAA gaming industry giants are running out and acquiring a lot of different properties. This the research that I have been doing for the last 2 weeks, I can easily make one really large video where it's just going to get too much, or chop them up in a bunch of and do a little mini series of 14-minute videos. To that end, I am going to put together a smaller video than what I originally wanted to cover for. And the reason for all of this is to paint a picture in the fact that most indie developers make better intellectual properties than big AAA developers, because it's all about money. I don't have to say exactly how Cyberpunk dropped the ball in a lot of things, both in their execution and all the missed opportunities for gameplay and mechanics. Now, don't get me wrong, the story was solid because it had a bedrock of Cyberpunk itself, thanks be to Mike Pondsmith. Just a quick little post edit. If I keep on rambling, we'll never get to the actual video, so here's the data. Bungie was founded in 1993. For those of you who are my age, you'll probably remember Myth and Marathon and Oni. And Microsoft did have Bungie from 2001 and 2007. After 2007 to 2022, Bungie went independent. They had a pretty cool Latin phrase, per audacia ad astra, which is boldly to the stars. But now Sony buys them out for somewhere around, I think it was $3.8 billion in 2022. Rare was purchased, $375 million. The British company was founded in 1985 after inspecting the Japanese console Famicom. And for those of you who know anything about history, that later became Nintendo Entertainment System, that was released in Europe and here in North America. The team impressed Minoru Arakawa in Kyoto and was granted unlimited budget to work on games for the Famicom. Rare further developed other games to be published by Sega, EA, and Acclaim. Battletoads and Double Dragon, most notable and memorable, was Snake, Rattle, and Roll. For me, anyway, I remember playing that game. From 1994 to 2002, Rare had a great partnership with Nintendo itself. During this time, I remember Blast Corps being released for the Nintendo 64, GoldenEye, and the Donkey Kong games, Banjo, and of course Star Fox, just for context. From 2002 to now, Rare is now under Microsoft. Rare still produces for the Game Boy, because Microsoft doesn't have a handheld answer to that. And Rare has seen some steady growth for the last 5 years. Now, we're going to get into some interesting purchases by Microsoft. Hotmail was purchased back in 1997. That's like right when I signed my DEP, my Pooley thing, signing my life away for the next 4 years in the military. Back in 1997, $500 million back then. That's a lot of money, but it really didn't hit mainstream, or out of that, or I wasn't woke enough to figure out what's going on behind the corporate scenes. Later on, May 10th, 2011, they bought Skype, $8.5 billion. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of heesh. Let's see. Just so you know, I'm not full of shit. Let's see. What's 1997? There's the Hotmail thing right there. Internet software. I don't know what they call it, internet software, but whatever. And then in 2000, what did I say? 2011. Yeah. Yep. There it is. Bungie. Bungie was purchased. It was more of a partnership. More on that later, or in a different video. Let's see, 2011. Son of a bitch. I skipped over a lot, didn't I? Oh well. See, Skype Technologies, 8.5 billion. Now, what I find interesting is Skype actually came from Luxembourg, so that's different. And then, of course, Twisted Pixel Games, I didn't throw that in there either. I might have to do like a deep dive into each one of these things. But anyway, this is just kind of a broad strokes type thing. Nokia mobile phones unit purchased in 2013 for $7.2 billion. There it is. So Microsoft wants to be part of that mobile games money. They purchased Mojang in 2014 for $2.5 billion. Hey man, Notch, make your hustle. They bought LinkedIn for $26.2 billion in 2016. It's here somewhere, I promise. There it is, right there. Professional social network for $26.2 billion. So just I'm not full of crap. They purchased GitHub for $7.5 billion in 2018. Yes, billion with a B. They've also acquired both inXile Entertainment and Obsidian Entertainment. They were both acquired in 2018, November 10th. inXile was founded in 2002 by Interplay's Brian Fargo, and Obsidian Entertainment was founded in 2003 by former Black Isle Fergus Urquhart. Now, for those of you who know anything about Fallout, Brian Fargo and Fergus both worked at Interplay, and I'd love to do a deep dive in that. And of course, I would cover why Fallout 76 was truly made. It wasn't because of greed. It was because they had to fulfill a contractual obligation to maintain all rights to the Fallout franchise. I'm still looking for evidence on that, and if you know anything about it, please contact me on Twitter, or send me a message, whatever. Get a hold of me on my Discord. Anyway, in 2019, they purchased Double Fine. Double Fine was actually founded, and it's kind of interesting for me. Double Fine was founded in 2000 by former LucasArts dev Tim Schafer. Now, ZeniMax Media, $8.1 billion. It made headlines. ZeniMax Media, that is Bethesda, purchased in 2020. And current time, Activision Blizzard, $68.7 billion. Microsoft is not joking around, guys. They're not joking around. Throwing that much money, I would love to figure out where they're getting their money. I think I'm in the wrong business. But anyway, I just think it's kind of interesting seeing all these different acquisitions showing up and actually being able to go onto Wikipedia, and no insider trading, no insider information, none of that. It just blows my mind. Now, why am I saying this? Why am I covering this? Why am I keeping up to date on this stuff? It's because with new intellectual properties, the only ones who are taking the risks are the indie developers. Like I said earlier, Cyberpunk was executed incorrectly. CD Projekt Red was an indie developer, and they got big using the Witcher franchise. Okay? But with everybody trying to bet on a sure thing, they're not going to have that creative gusto to move forward and put AAA money behind an indie project. The only time that ever really happened in recent memory that I can think of is No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky was an indie developer, and they were propped up by Sony, and it fell flat because the hype train got overwhelmed. Same thing can be said for Cyber Projekt Red. Yes, that's a new thing now. I mean, CD Projekt Red with Cyberpunk 2077. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the story. I played on the original Xbox One, okay? And yeah, there was some game-breaking stuff in there, but I still enjoyed it for what it was. Did I feel betrayed? Yes. Was it scummy on how they've released it and executed it? Yes. But kind of take everything you see with a grain of salt. That media game of telephone. It's crap. I would highly recommend taking a look at other people in the YouTube space, people who are way better at this sort of stuff than me, two people that come to mind is Legacy Killa HD and Upper Echelon Gamers. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video. If you guys comment down in the comment section below, say, hey, we want to know more. I do have data and stuff on Sony Interactive, which I find interesting is that Sony isn't really disclosing the money they're throwing around too much. I mean, Insomniac Games, Sony bought them for $229 million. Incidentally enough, because Sony is a Japanese company, they shelled out $1.1 billion to acquire Crunchyroll and a bunch of other manga stuff. I thought it was pretty interesting. And of course, they announced in 2021 that they're going to be buying Bungie for $3.7 billion. No, sorry, 2022, my mistake. For $3.7 billion. They're going to be purchasing Bungie. What I did find interesting that was absent from this roll call, both Sony and Microsoft, is that Electronic Arts and Square Enix wasn't there. That's another video. And we can definitely talk about how they're exploring NFTs, non-fungible tokens. Me personally, and everybody I've been talking to, they don't want it, but they're investing billions of dollars trying to make this thing work. Also, I'm kind of curious as to how much Electronic Arts is going to get into it with losing the FIFA licensing exclusivity contracts for the last 10 years. But, so there you have it. Even though I went ahead and covered Microsoft acquisitions mostly in this video, I don't think that they're going to be as anti-consumer in the future, but that's always a possibility. Right now, a good example for Microsoft's hands-off mentality would be the State of Decay series. State of Decay 2 is still going strong. Developers are actively working on State of Decay 3, and they keep on coming up with updates and improvements for State of Decay 2. There's a lot of different independent developers that are backed by Microsoft money, and they develop for that platform. So, I mean, it's not all doom and gloom. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the Xbox Game Pass app is extremely consumer friendly, and you get a lot of bang for your buck. It's not like, going to streaming video services, because there's a bajillion. But be that as it may, I'm going to leave it there. You can follow me on Twitch, here on YouTube, obviously, Steam, Xbox Live, and Twitter underneath the moniker of Pregamus, and you can actually hit me up on Discord using the link. Anyway, until next time, you guys have a great day.